However, when Studley tried to ask for Shaman Bart, etc., he was found that the lady just kept saying medical recreation, and then finally said, "I'm sorry, you must have the wrong number," and put the phone down on him. Da, da, da.
In the time when Athena was getting this information, Studley wanted to make a quick trip home just to check on his mother, make sure that she's all right, give her any meds that she needs, and then he will head back in time to receive this information at with the others at probably at Sally Sidewinders would have been the place that they had arranged to meet up.
That's a perfect place to meet up and discuss your next steps forward.
So, can Studley do a matrix search to see whether or not medical recreation is listed as a business in the London area?
It's from the information that Athena gave you. You know that it hasn't been a medical facility or business or company for the last 30 years. It ceased to trade. So there's, according to the Matrix, phoning that number, there should be nobody that actually answers
the
medical
but
recreation.
Is there any information still on the internet whereabouts it was based in when it was?
Oh yes, I mean that was in the data package that came from Athena. It was outside of London. It was almost like this sort of like pleasant countrified place.
Do we know if that place has been bought and is being used by someone else, or do we know if it's abandoned?
Okay, like I said, 30 years ago there was a massive biohazard there, and now the company ceases to trade at all. So as far as your information has at the present moment in time, there should be no such thing called medical recreation. And there certainly shouldn't be anything that's actually answering the comlink.
How old does this card? Do you know this card that Dr. Jekyll gave us? How old does it look? Does it look oldish?
It does look quite old, and like I said, the name's been scribbled out, and it says Shaman Bart over the top of it now.
Sorry, yeah, come on, Triggs.
No, you can go first.
Hexel was going to ask Athena if she could do, or Studley if they could do a matrix search for Shaman Bart, see if anybody comes up in any of the forums or anything claiming to be him, that sort of thing, to see if we can try and track him down.
Okay.
I mean, we can do a search for Bart Smith and Shaman Bart to see whether or not anybody's has a private practice or something, or is operating as a private investigator, you know, sort of like finding people via magic.
Okay, yeah, she'll set off on that search. Is there anything else the rest of you actually want to do before any information comes back, or you're just going to hang around and wait for that information?
I mean, we'll have no idea how long this is going to take.
Just trying to think.
Studley's going to ask to be contacted once the information comes through, and he's going to head off, and he's going to head down to part of downtown South Side, where there's a park very next to sort of like one of the subway stations.
Yeah.
And on the way, he's going to pick up a sandwich, some type of meat sandwich, and he's going to go and wait on the park bench there. and he's going to sit there waiting to see whether or not one of his contacts turns up.
Which contact is he waiting for?
He's waiting for Ken, who is a dog.
And what's his chance of him turning up?
Who knows? I mean, it's in his area of where he, where he wanders. He's a man, a spirit of man.
Okay then. So what's his force rating? Let's go from there first. Do you know?
Unknown.
Right. Okay then. And he just wanders about this area. Is this what he does?
Yeah, I mean, he this is his. He's almost like the littlest hobo. He's a free spirit.
Okay then. So if you roll a perception roll, and then we'll use that as a basis, as the number of successes for him, whether or not he's there. That would be the easiest thing to do. Yeah, so I figure you probably above 2 successes, and then the number of additional successes that you get will be the number of hours that you wait. Actually, around the other way, won't it? Because it'll be so you sort of like sit there for about 3 hours, and then he actually comes toddling back past us, sort of like to see you.
Okay.
Is there something you would like to ask him?
Yeah, I mean, well, to begin with, Studley's going to unwrap the sandwich, and he's going to give it to Ken.
Okay, cool.
When there's he's going to make sure that there's nobody around, and he's going to say. I wonder whether or not you might be able to give me some information. I might be working on something that involves ritual spell casting, something which I am not familiar with. Are you able to impart your wisdom on the subject for me?
What does he bark?
No, he does talk. He sounds like Scooby Doo when he talks.
Well, I mean, obviously he's a spirit, so he knows about ritual magic because I mean he lives his life as a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So he obviously knows that. But I mean, you're going to have to be a little bit more specific. What you actually want from him.
I'm going to explain what we're working on and how it's some form of magic that seems to maybe infect the blood and causes the blood to be almost.
Are you asking him whether or not that is ritual magic? Is that what you're asking him?
Has he heard of anything that might cause something like that?
No, I mean, basically he says to you that ritual magic is used to trace blood. That's what ritual magic would be used for. So the chances are you would trace the blood, maybe be able to go back to where it was actually located from or started from.
Okay.
Rather than that's not actually a form of magic. It's not the infection in the blood is not ritual magic. That is more medical. It's more biological.
Okay. And the last thing I'm going to ask is to see whether or not he's encountered any of these undead things wandering about anywhere in his area.
Because I just need to do a roll here. He looks quite worried for a dog, and he sort of like communicates to you that there's some strange goings on in the Dockland areas, and he's actually decided to keep away from that area from now on, and he's not planning on going down there anymore.
Okay. Studley will thank him, and he'll scratch behind his ear for a few minutes before getting up and heading back to Sally Soundwinder's. Can I make a memory check to see whether or not I can remember whether or not the people in Dr. Jekyll's apartment, they seemed to be some type of gangers? Did I recognise? Was there any emblems or markings
No, they weren't.
on their clothing, putting them to a certain gang?
They seem to be quite low-level hoodlums. They don't look like they were members of an official gang at all. They're sort of like probably teenagers who hang out in that parking lot causing mischief and being nasty to old people.
Okay, so Studley will head back to Sally Soundwinder's to check up what anybody else has found out.
Well, Athena has come back with some examples of this Shaman Bart Smith or Bart Smith. There seems to be several of them sort of like round the London area. It seems to be named after a popular cartoon figure of the past that from American cartoons. However, there is one that actually catches your eye when she starts to plot the locations on an overlay of Southside, and there's actually one that lives in almost like their own sort of like separate house, almost like a detached house, and it's actually not far from Mr. Dr. Jekyll's apartment at all. And when I say not far, it's about 10 to 15 minutes walk, if that, less if you drove a silver car. And you sort of like notice that it's probably on a very easy route to actually get there from Mr. Jekyll's apartment to this possible Bart Smith. It's not called Shaman Bart Smith, but it is very close and possibly very the most likely hit of that name.
Okay. So we've got, from that, I'm assuming Studley's back now at Sally Soundwinder's.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
So from the information that we've got, I see two options. We can go and see this Mr. Bart Smith at his house, which is obviously not too far away from Dr. Jekyll's, and see what he knows. Or we can head to the docks in the area where your friend, Studley, says he doesn't want to go anymore.
Studley hasn't provided that information.
Oh, he's not?
To you.
Okay. I assumed he had, sorry. So yeah, well, he's going to say we can go there to the Bart Smith's house. That's what he's going to suggest.
I think that's probably our best course of action, is to go and have a word with Mr. Smith and see what light he can shed on this.
Okay. So
what's the time now? Sorry,
it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon now.
Yeah.
So how long roughly would it take? Do we think it would take us to get from say to Sunwinders?
Probably an hour's driving, and that'll be about
5
it.
o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's all right. Yeah.
Okay then.
We've got a date.
So we set you. Hang on, I'm just moving you slowly.
Same floor plan as last time.
No. So you move. I move you over to this, and you can see that it's rather a big apartment, and the door when you get here is slightly ajar. It's not actually shut, and you can hear, almost like from inside, you can hear sort of like a like that, almost like a singing but hideous, high-pitched voice coming from inside.
Is it an apartment block or is it a single?
It's a single house.
Okay, so there was only be, as far as we're concerned, there is only Bart Smith.
Yes, that would live here. Nobody else.
Okay.
Billy Bob's gonna open the door and knock loudly on it.
Yeah,
Like that.
You sort of like knock loudly on the door, and you hear a voice from inside. It seems to be sort of like a middle-aged man, and he shouts, "Oh, come and help me! Please, 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 come and help me!" And
Are there any windows on the side?
There's a window here, and there's one here, but as you can see, they're actually boarded up. Can you see that?
Well, we can't see that because we've just got a very small amount of
right.
light.
Sorry. My
So we've only got sort of like the squares that we're on, and I can see that side. Yeah.
And that side. Yeah. Can you see here or not?
No, can't see that. No,
good
it was only.
Oh,
that's why I was asking whether or not there was any
sorry.
windows. I didn't know whether or not this one was a window.
It is, but that's also boarded up.
So as we were approaching, all windows were boarded.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Is that? I'm assuming that's including the next story as well, the next floor.
It's only one story.
Oh, it's only one story.
Yeah.
Okay.
After Billy Bob has knocked and we've heard the voice, Studley's going to go up behind him and he's just going to put his hand on his shoulder as if to say, just wait a second. And I want to cast a spell.
Okay. I am assuming improved reflexes is coming up.
No, I'm going to cast clairvoyance, and I want to use my sight to go through the door and to see what's on the opposite side.
Okay, is that a manipulation spell?
It's a detection spell.
Let me just read this quickly.
But you said the door was ajar.
It is,
was
yeah.
it not? So
yeah, but it's not fully open, so we can't see what's through it. But it's obvious that it's not locked.
Whilst that's happening, Hector's going to call out and just say, "It's all right, we're coming in a second." And he's
Okay,
going to,
what range are you casting this at?
I wasn't aware that there was a range for it. I thought I could move it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I want to know how far into the room you want to put it.
Oh, right. To begin with, 2 meters.
Because I just make sure I put the I just make sure that I've got the right thing on here. So 2 meters would
2 meters.
Yeah. So let me just get this right. What do you actually see then when you cast this spell?
I close my eyes and it's almost like a magic eyeball that nobody else can see,
Right.
but I see my normal vision. If it's dark on the opposite side, I
Right.
won't see anything.
So you see as if you're stood there. That's
Yes.
that's what I'm doing. Okay then, cast your spell.
This is coming off at force. This is coming up at force 4.
Okay, one success, yeah? Okay then, so I will show you. Remember, you hear nothing.
Correct.
I'm just revealing what you can see, as if you were stood there.
I'm not looking.
Okay.
Whilst all this is going on, and after Hector's responded, he wants to run around the side to see if there's run around the back to see if there's a back entrance.
Right, hang on then. So so you also see. Did you see that little thing?
There was something on the floor, some type of mark. I didn't know whether or not it was something or whether or not it was just on the floor.
Can but you can see this thing,
I can, yeah,
and you can see this thing,
yeah,
and you can see this thing.
yes.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I need to explain to you. So, just out of interest, Hector, do you want to go left or right
Um,
to get round to the back of the house?
He's going to go the side he is, so he's going to go left.
Okay.
And he's going to be. He wants to be doing it quickly, but as quietly as he can at the same time.
Okay then. So, so yes, so it seems to be this thing that is making the almost like the jumping up and down movement, and it's almost like taunting the guy who sat in the middle of the circle with the red triangle, the red star. It doesn't look like it's blood. But he sort of like sit there, and this little guy here is sort of like keeps jumping up and sort of like bashing into the into what seems to be a barrier.
Do I recognise it at all?
You can roll your magic skill or your magical knowledge skill, and if you don't, then just roll your magic and logic.
Okay.
And Hector, you can start rolling your stealth or sneaking skill.
It would paranormal critics or power zoology come into play?
Which one do you want to?
Well, they're both the same.
Are you looking at the thing that's over the
thing? Because I presume this is a human.
That certainly is, yeah.
Yeah. So it was more this thing that I was interested in.
So you get to here. So yeah, that seems to be some
Shall
kind
I roll
of.
something? Else?
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you rolled it. I thought there was a 1.
No, I was just saying, could I roll my power?
Yeah, by all means.
Well,
Yeah,
4 successes.
that seems to be some kind of imp or summoned creature. And he sort of like keeps running at the sort of like the area and then bashing off it and sort of like laughing and joking.
Do you want me to roll my sneak again?
Yeah, just 1 second, because everybody's about to have their next bit now.
Okay, that's right.
Okay, so Studley's going to drop the clairvoyance spell, so his sight comes back to him.
Yeah.
And he's going to whisper to Billy Bob. Well, mind you, this point is because they already know that we're here. He's going to say, "Okay, let's go."
Okay, Billy Bob, what are you doing?
So Billy Bob's going to draw his Beretta. Is it Beretta?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to draw his Beretta, and he's going to move in. Not so much stealthily, but slowly and quietly.
Okay, so you can roll your stealth skill.
Dang it.
And Hector, you can roll yours.
Sure.
6.
Where's stealth?
Cool. Let me just reveal some more area for you.
But yeah, Hex is also looking for any other ways in that aren't boarded up if you can at the same time.
Yeah, this you can see another window now that is boarded. Yeah.
It's boarded. Okay.
Did I have?
Stealth.
He doesn't have one.
All right.
But not only that, I mean, Studley doesn't have one, and Studley's coming straight in behind him.
All right, you're coming in straight.
And we've knocked on the door and already said something. So a stealth roll is probably not the best thing.
So you can see what is happening now. Billy Bob as well. And you can see now exactly what you can see in there, and the guy sort of like that was sat inside the sort of like the circle, sort of like comes up and sort of like looks at you, and this little imp sort of like turns round to you as well and says, "Oh, quick, please, protect me from Tiny. Protect me from Tiny." That's the guy inside the that's this guy that's shouting this, and this sort of like thing sort of like jumps around and sort of like looks around as if there's as if, where are you? Who is this guy shouting at? And then sees you in the corner. Right, so let's have some initiative.
Do you want me to roll as well?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Go on, Studs. Oh. Imp got 4.
Excellent. Okay then. So, you need to change your thing to Studley. By the way, it keeps saying Sugar Walker.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so Billy Bob, you are up first.
Okay,
you have your Beretta out.
Yeah. So looking at the guy in the middle, do I recognize him from the picture on the card?
It looks the betting is that it's probably Shaman Bart. Yeah.
Right.
It looks a little bit older now.
Okay. Yeah. So he's just gonna pop a shot off at the little imp.
Have you got your silencer now?
No.
I have. Oh
No, you haven't.
No, you get it at the end of this mission.
Yeah, correct.
If we do well.
Oh,
Go for it. Roll.
crap on a crumpet. Okay. There we go. Situation modifiers. I'm just popping a shot up. So none.
No situation modifiers. Unless
3
it's,
meters.
yeah,
range.
it's probably in range, is it not?
4 successes.
Yeah.
4 successes. Yeah. Let me just roll this. I'm reverting to the old-fashioned way. Yeah, two successes. So you fired this shot off, and it sort of like takes the imp on one shoulder, and it sort of like screams at the top of its voice, and it sort of goes ah, like that. What's that total? 8p. Is that
Is your
correct?
Beretta doing physical damage now rather than stun?
It is according to that, yeah. 8p.
I changed the rounds over.
8p, 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 6p. Okay then, yeah.
In fact, I don't think we talked about that, did we?
Okay, Hector, roll your sneaking skill.
Do you want me to roll that again and put it to stun? Sorry.
No.
I don't think we spoke about that.
No, if it's coming up physical now, it's coming up physical. It was up physical at the last game as well.
I'm assuming Hector would have heard the pistol and the scream from outside.
It may,
Because if he did, he's just going to start running.
whereabouts?
He's still running around the back to see if there's a rear entry.
Yeah, cool. So what's his run?
His run is run factor 4. No, 20. That's
20,
his max. But he's just going to run to the edge of the building, I think. Hang on,
Okay, yeah. So he runs to the edge here, and I'll tell you what's behind. The behind is just sort of like the width of the front, and it just has boarded up windows along the side. So what's your run?
My total run is 20.
So you probably can get sort of like round to, I'm just going to ping like here, but behind the
Yeah.
so,
So
imagine that you're there.
okay, so there's no doors that I've seen so far.
It's just windows
Okay.
on behind. Studley, you're up.
Is Studley familiar with an imp, and is it a summoned creature?
Yes, it is.
Okay, in which case he's going to try to banish it.
Cool, go for it.
I've never done anything like this before.
Oh,
and it's
no.
It's not his. Studley can banish, but it's not his forte.
Oh, no. That's
Eating
not good.
is his
That's
forte.
not going to be good then, isn't it?
No.
I don't think we've done any
okay,
banishing.
so
full stop.
Shall I just roll my dice?
You roll banishing plus magic,
Yeah.
and then it's a test. It's opposed by the spirit's force plus the summoner's magic if it's brought together. So just make a note of your keep an eye on your
3.
successes. So,
Why is it physical limit?
no idea, but how many did you get?
I got 3 successes.
Well, no, but that's because of your physical.
Oh no, sorry, I
It's
got
your
1,
astral.
2.
Astral
Yeah.
is the thing.
Yeah, I've got it set to astral.
So what's your astral?
My astral limit
Yeah.
is there isn't an astral limit. When you go into the limits, it's physical, mental, and social.
Would it be mental then?
Hang on. And let me just remember that page 301. Da, da, da.
Unless it's under magic.
I'll tell you, I'm nearly
No.
there. So your astral limit is doesn't say you have an astral limit. And let's have a look. You do make life complicated, you magic users.
Astral limit 278.
278.
Inherit limit astral. Your astral limit is equal to your mental or social limit, whichever is greater.
Okay then. So which is
Okay, so my mental limit is 7, so that's going to then give me 4 successes.
4 successes then. Brilliant. Okay then. So I'm rolling the
I'm going to change that to mental.
plus the spirits thing. So that's a total of that and that and that and that. For every net hit you get, the number of services is reduced by 1. Yeah, so you sort of like plow all your energy and try to dismiss this imp, and it comes out and it just goes, pff, and your magic sort of like fades away. You don't seem to be able to banish it at all. You think it's either this imp's force is too great, or probably the mage who has summoned it, because that's what it takes on as well. You know, so it's quite hefty. Whatever happens on the imp's turn, the imp dies behind this city like that, Excellent. Okay then. Adjust your. Excellent. So Billy Bob, you're up.
Okay, Billy Bob's gonna literally just drop his weapon and charge for the imp.
Cool.
Total of 20.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's about 3 meters to there, so about 4 meters. Yeah, so you can instantly get there. That's not a problem.
Right. So, oh, crap. Okay, whatever.
I'll move him. Don't worry.
And he's just gonna try and grab hold of it. And
Okay, yeah, go
keep
for it
hold
then.
of- So it's just a strength test, is it?
It's your unarmed,
Unarmed.
as if you're grappling it.
Make sure you don't roll your blade one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you reach out and sort of like grab this imp that's going like "Ah!" like that. Hector, you come round the opposite side. You won't be able to see it yet, but I'm revealing as we
Okay.
speak.
He's mainly just looking for another entry into the house.
So
It's an easy entry.
you can see there's a series of bay windows there,
Yeah.
and then that I think you're running, aren't you? So
He is, yeah.
you'll get down to that little bush there. And as you hear this, as you grapple this thing, the guy inside the ritual says, "No, no, get tiny!" And all of a sudden, there's this almighty burst of wood from over behind you, Billy Bob. And all of a sudden, hurtling through the door at massive speed, and I mean, I can't. I'm sorry, I've got hold of the map, and I don't know where the map's going. Okay, hurtling through the door, bashing its way towards you, is this huge gorilla, and it doesn't like that. And the shaman, suddenly you see the shaman go, "That's tiny," as the gorilla goes shooting across the room,